Some of you, I'm sure, will know Father Stuart Chalmers, who was a priest of the diocese. He was, for a while, administrator here, and it's just to say that today is the silver jubilee of his ordination. He's now helping in the seminary in Salamanca in Spain, but we might remember him in our prayers at this Mass. Well, in 1814, just before the Battle of Waterloo, a wooden statue of Our Lady and the Child was given to the church of Notre-Dame du Finistère on the Rue Neuve in Brussels, and it's still there in a side chapel, and it's much frequented. I visited it a few times, and I remember a tramp who'd comfortably installed himself by the radiator and was sleeping very soundly. And also there were many candles lit. People had been in to light candles, and people came in and out to pray. So it is a place of live devotion set on a very fashionable shopping street in the center of Brussels. And as we know, this statue has a history, because it's the holy object at the heart of this feast. And at the end of the Middle Ages, it was at once in Aberdeen. And when the Reformation came, it was smuggled to Flanders to avoid destruction. And after further adventures through the French Revolution, it came to be where it is in Brussels. And since the church has been able to breathe more freely again here in Scotland, since the 19th century, copies were made and brought here, as for example, here Our Lady, who is usually in the chapel at the back. There is one in my own house. There's one at St Mary's Blair's, at St Peter's in the Castle Gate, and in Buckie. And recently the New Dawn Conference had another statue made. I think, I'm never quite sure where it is, but I'm sure Joe Costello will tell us. And then at some point, I don't really know the history of this, the feast was established, and thanks to the efforts of Archbishop Mario Conti, Our Lady of Aberdeen is now a feast throughout Scotland and not just for this city and the diocese. So there it is. Well, the point of it, what's the point? What's the point of the statue and its copies and the story and this feast is a very simple one. It's presence, a presence, the presence of Mary among us in the church, for this city, and in the life of each one of us. Mary was, of course, present to the church in Scotland from the very beginning, when the gospel first came. She was present during the years of exile, when Scottish Catholic life either had to lie low here, hide among the heather, or find refuge on the continent, and her presence still among us since Catholic life has found more freedom. So all that is kind of in the back of our minds, or at the front of our minds perhaps today. But above all, it's presence, the presence of this person, Our Lady, this woman, this mother, our sister. Now, in today's gospel, Jesus calls Mary woman, and that wasn't an insult, it was an honor. Woman is present in Scripture from the end to the beginning, from Eve, the mother of the living, to that mysterious crowned figure in the book of the Apocalypse, and the vision of the heavenly Jerusalem coming down from above like a bride adorned for her husband. Woman, we might say, is present in every woman, in every girl, in every mother. Woman is present in the life of every man, because any of us, male or female, is literally inconceivable without woman. In Scripture, she's present in the great wives of the patriarchs, the mothers of Israel, Sarah, Rebecca, and Rachel, in Deborah and Jael, in Hannah and Ruth and Judith and Esther, and the mother of the Maccabees, in the woman bride of the Song of Songs, and in women mistreated like Hagar and Bathsheba and Tamar. But most of all, woman is present in Mary, the Virgin Mother of God, the first to belong to Christ, the first to share the holiness of Christ in its fullness, in her Immaculate Conception, and the first to share in his resurrection through her bodily assumption. Woman, behold your Son, says Jesus on the cross. So if Jesus is the man, the Son of Man, the new Adam, Mary is the woman, the Mother of God, the second Eve. And it is through this man and this woman that God acts in this world for our salvation. And as Jesus gives himself on the cross, part of that gift of himself is the gift of his own mother. He gives her to us, a feminine presence, a closeness, usually discreet, hidden with Christ in God, but sometimes beautiful as the moon, bright as the sun, awesome as an army with banners. Now, when we call Our Lady, call her Our Lady of Aberdeen, I suppose we're reminding ourselves that Christ's sacrifice on the cross is for all time and every place. We are all embraced by that redemptive act, his love that he demonstrated to the end on the cross, and that is in him risen from the dead. We're remembering that self-gift that the Lord made of himself on the cross and makes of himself to us every day always includes this gift of his mother, of Mary. The cross isn't just in the past, it's now. And he says to his mother now, even here in Aberdeen in 2022, to look at his beloved disciples, and he tells us to take her to our homes. So she is present. Let's just rest today in that simple thought. She is present for each of us, for our families, for the parishes of this city, for our schools, all our groups and associations, all our efforts, all our failures too. She's present for us, laity, clergy, and religious. Behold, she is told by Jesus, look, this is your son. And so she looks at us, and we need her gaze. We need her presence. Now, there's one thing I'd like to bring to her, especially today, and ask you if you could share this intention as well. We all know that, Union Street on a Friday night is not a pretty sight at all. But the other evening, Monday evening I was walking back from here, from the center of the city, back to Old Aberdeen. And as I got into Old Aberdeen, I had, it wasn't so late, it was 9:15, 9:30, something like that. And within the space of 10, 15 minutes, I would say, 20 minutes, and in the space of half an hour, I had 5 encounters with people who were either drunk or drugged. And I won't go into the details, some of which weren't very pleasant. And some of these people were in real distress. And if this happens to you in a short space of time, as it did, you feel, well, there's a message here maybe. The Lord is saying something. It's not that one didn't know these things are around, but when you hear them bang, 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 then it hits home. Now, one of the things that came out in the synodal discussions that we had in the parishes was how people would like that for our parishes or for us individually in our different groups and so on, to do more to address some of the social suffering that there is around us. I mean, I know, there are people who do that professionally, to whom we're very grateful. I know that the Holy Family Sisters of the Needy do a great deal here. They're feeding 200 people a week, effectively, and there's the Vincent de Paul. But is there something more we should do? Here are these, just on a Monday night, here are these people in disarray and in distress. And Our Lady of Aberdeen, what does Mary see? Mary sees these people, and she sees us. Does she ask us, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? What could we do? What should we do? I put that question to you. You may have inspired ideas. But is there something that we can do? There is a great deal of unhappiness and, I don't know, disturbance in so many people's lives all around us. And here we are, professed followers of Christ. So here is Aberdeen, which Mary embraces. How can we help Mary, as it were, to reach these people? What can we do as individuals or together with the help of others as well? So shall we entrust that intention to Mary today to enlighten us and show us some way in which we can